Do you believe the KJV is the correct? Absolutely. King James Version is closest to Hebrew, Aramaic, and Coney Greek. Trust me. NIV, NLT, all those scriptures are very dangerous. They pull from the Codex Sinaiticus, Codex Vaticanus. They're from the Alexandrian doctrine. So if you guys are reading with NIV, NLT, I'm telling you guys, please consider switching. And I'm just calling it out right now. It's not a good thing.
If you read the NIV, the ESV, or the NLT, let me put you at ease. You're not reading a corrupted Bible. In fact, the manuscripts behind your translation are roughly 800 years older than what the KJV translators had access to in their time. And that matters much more than most people realize. And I genuinely appreciate Johnny. I think the instinct to defend scripture is a good one, and it's a Christian one. But on the history here, I'm afraid he's got it backwards. And once you see it, the whole argument turns the other way around. Here's what actually happened. In 1516, a scholar named Erasmus compiled the Greek text that would eventually become the basis for the King James Bible. And he was working with about 8 manuscripts, and the oldest was from the 12th century. That was extraordinary work for his time, but it was still 1516. And in the centuries since, scholars have unearthed thousands of older manuscripts, some going back to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th centuries. That's the Codex Sinaiticus or the Codex Vaticanus. The very manuscripts that Johnny here calls dangerous are in fact roughly 800 years closer to the apostles than what Erasmus had in his hands. So modern translations aren't subtracting from scripture. They're consulting evidence that Erasmus simply didn't have access to. And look, the KJV is a beautiful translation, but it isn't the only faithful one. And saying so isn't a threat to the gospel. It's how the KJV translators themselves understood the work of translation. So look, read your NIV, read your ESV, read your King James Bible, read them together, read them out loud. That isn't dangerous. That is in fact what discipleship has always looked like. Johnny, my brother, I'm right alongside you in loving scripture. I'd simply like us to love the whole of the manuscript witness, not just a slice of it that happened to arrive first in our English language.